MyMac Podcast 949, the new stuff.
Hi everyone and welcome to this week's mighty MyMac Podcast. Well, I'm sure we're all surprised by the totally non-pre-revealed by every single tech person ever alive or dead on what Apple released last Tuesday. And to put the final nail in the coffin, here come the G-Men. This should be an hour of predictable fun, folks. How are you, Guy?
I am doing no bounce. Why I said it, I don't know, but I'm always just so happy when there's no bounce. But I do it anyway. I'm doing pretty well, Gaz. All things considered, I'm doing pretty well. Had a weird thing happen last night. Very weird.
Right.
My son, Guy Jr., and his girlfriend, Ashley, are here to kind of help out around in the yard while I sit down with you and record a podcast. Because right now, with various things going on, it's really not possible for me to do a lot of that stuff. But something really super embarrassing happened while we were watching TV last night. And I gotta say that it wasn't that I was half expecting it, but I was kind of half expecting it to happen at some point. And what happened, we were all on the couch, we're watching TV, and I rubbed my eye where my fake eye is, and it just popped right out of my head onto my chest. Brilliant. And nobody saw it. But I'm sitting there and I'm kind of leaning back on the sofa and I'm looking down on my chest, and there's my fake eye looking back
up at you.
Yeah. I was like, oh, son of a B word. What the hell?
Well, I tell you what, that's brilliant. That's brilliant, because you could have picked it up and had a look around the room, couldn't you? Or
just kind of like, I see what you're doing over there.
Yeah.
So, and the crazy part.
Did you just pop it in your mouth and then give it a quick lick and pop it back in?
No, I did not. I did not, and I will never ever do that. I actually, the fake eye guy, basically recommended. He was like, okay, about every 2 weeks.
I wish he had. I wish the fake eye guy had a website. I really do.
He does. I think it's Michael Hughes.
No. You missed the point. Move on.
Well, yeah, big surprise. Guy misses a point. So he was basically telling me that about every 2 weeks, take it out, clean it with baby shampoo, wash it off afterwards. Of course, don't stick something with baby shampoo that's still on it in your face. Ow! Yeah. It hurts so bad. Did you take off the baby shampoo? You were supposed to do that?
Yeah. I've got a story. I've got a very nasty story about my wife and contact lenses and peroxide that they used to use to clean them with. But I'll come on to that later.
Well, I think the big difference is that could have done actual damage to your real eye, as compared to just being kind of uncomfortable for me. But I did get it. It took me a while, because this was only the second time that I didn't take it out, but it was only the second time I've actually put it in myself. So it took me a little bit of time, but it was like, oh, son of a bitch. I'm sitting here looking at my eye on my chest. Nobody else saw it. And of course I drew attention to it immediately, because I could have just stood up and said, excuse me, walked to the bathroom, put it back in. No one would have known. But no, I had to have like a little mini panic attack while I'm there on the couch going, oh, my eye popped out. And they're all looking over going, yeah, hey, you know what? Your eye popped out. And it's like, I know, there it is. Anyway, so
you're such a drama queen. You are such a drama queen, aren't you?
I kind of am. I cannot deny it. It is very, very true. How about you?
Well, I went out for a 55-mile ride on Tuesday on the bike after volunteering on Monday. And actually on Tuesday, it started off dampish, but not too bad. But we got about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from home, and the heavens opened, Guy. Ooh. It absolutely threw it down. But that was fine. I just got back and dried off and, had a shower. That's fine. But actually I've hurt my back on Wednesday.
Oh,
I'm having to take my time doing, well, pretty much anything, to be honest with you.
yeah. Oh, back
And
pain
so
is like a bear.
Mrs. Gaz said, "You're not going out on your bike with your back like that." And I thought, no, I could be tempted. And I saw on a WhatsApp group that I'm in with the bike club, somebody was looking for a bike to go out riding today. And I said, I'll lend you mine. So I lent it out today. But actually, he did quite a good ride. So I think I need to set up my bike with a Strava account so I can get all of the kudos for this,
Sure.
lending my bike out. And yep, Guy, for those watching,
Oh, watching. I get jokes.
yes, watching. Can you see that? I've got
Yep.
a new device on my arm.
You got a 9.
No,
No.
because, and I'm sure we'll talk about the products a little bit later. I looked at
Yes.
the 9 and thought, yeah, no. So I got a refurb stainless steel 8.
Sweet.
Because I've always fancied a stainless steel version, and it is heavier, which gives it a little bit more bulk, which I quite like. And the look of it, with actually one of the straps that I've got from my previous one, it looks super. So I'm really, really
Cool.
impressed with it. Now, I went for the 8 because I thought, the 9, yeah, it's got a few extras on it, but it's not enough for me to go for it. And I'm going to save a lot of money. I can get the stainless steel version. Hey, why not go for it? I've also bought or ordered some solo loop straps, not from Apple, from someone else. And I've also pre-ordered. Well, I had my pre-order in place for the iPhone 15, and I asked for the 0% interest over 2 years. That was all preordained, all pre-sorted out. Friday came. I'd almost forgotten about it because my watch had actually turned up on Friday after a bit of a nuisance from the UPS delivery guy who didn't deliver it on Thursday. Anyway, and I was going through the process of transferring the SIM data plan that I've got onto the watch. Got all that sorted.
Okay. So you've got a cellular watch then.
Yes,
That's right. We've talked about that before. You're right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And then it was about gone to, and I thought, oh, the phone's probably available now to order. So I went into the app on my phone, the Apple Store app, and it was sitting there saying, you can pre-order it now. So I pressed the button, and that was it, was done. Because everything had been pre-authorized. So that's going to be with me next week. Now, I only went for the 15. I've got currently I've got a 13 Pro. But I'm jumping down to a 15 standard because I think the extra megabytes in the camera that I'm going to be getting over the 13, and I really wasn't that impressed with the fact that I'd have to go up to a Pro Max. I do not want a Max. I do not want a Max, Apple. It's too big for me. And you're not putting it in the Pro. So, well, I thought I'll up my watch purchase slightly and get a stainless steel one and just drop down and see how I get on with the standard iPhone. Because to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not a pro user of the phone. Let's be honest.
No.
Probably 95%
Very few
of the people who
are.
buy a Pro are pro users. So, but
they just
it's
like
nice
the
to
fact that it says Pro.
Yeah. So, so I took my advice, if you remember my tip that I gave, and I went for it. So, yeah, it's all done. Happy, ordered, watch on. In fact, my old watch has already gone to its new owner.
Oh, who'd you give it to?
Daughter number 1.
Okay. It's weird that you named her like that.
It is. She hates it.
Imagine your second daughters hate that even more. Yeah. Hey, I'm number 2.
Yeah.
We're not going to go down that alley.
No, we're not. We're not. Not at all. Anyway.
So I guess that means we should do something else then.
What? Gazzy snippets? Smooth. Apple are said to discontinue all silicone and leather bands and cases in an eco push.
Wait, did they talk about their eco push in their presentation?
No, I think they might have mentioned it ever so briefly, Guy.
A little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Okay, by the way, before you go any farther, did you see my hat?
No. What's that say?
Vegan
Vegan.
with a line
Vegan.
through it.
You're a vegan with a line through it. I like it.
Which means I'm not a vegan.
You're line through vegan. That's good. Apple
Yes.
has released 15.7.9, iPad OS 15.7.9, Mac OS 12.6.9, and Mac OS 11.7.10. That's a strange one, that last one, because obviously
What was
that's
the last one?
11.7.10. That's for Big Sur users, I think.
Okay.
Now, when they go back that far, you can be assured, folks, it's generally for a fairly big security scare. So get it, get it, get it. YouTube music integration may be coming to HomePod. Well, as I haven't got a HomePod, I don't care. But hey, it's pretty impressive. Apple chips made in the US still require assembly in Taiwan, a report has suggested. And I've seen this somewhere else written slightly differently. Yeah, I think there is some part of a process. I did read through another.
Did they say which chips they were talking about, or
yeah, I
just
think
the ones that were made here in the US?
I think they were the triple fried chips that you get on the cheese chips,
with like sour cream and chives kind of thing.
Yeah, those.
Okay,
those.
no, I get it. I get it.
I think
that
they
Taiwanese sour cream, you can't beat it with a stick.
Yeah. I think there's a packaging part, the final part of fabrication on those chips before they send them out to keep them hot. I think it is. Apple TV Plus now available in Tata Play Binge bundle. I don't know who Tata Play Binge bundle is, so
it's this one guy in the middle of the Himalayan mountains.
Yeah. In fact, it is extending the reach of Apple originals into India. There you go. Apple has extended its Qualcomm contract to 2026 as homebrew 5G chip dream is still on snooze, apparently. Major Apple supplier TSMC to invest up to 100 million in ARM Holdings IPO. Yes, them and probably a number of other tech companies. So,
and quite honestly, when you're talking about companies this big, $100 million is like,
yes, that's chop change, isn't
nothing.
It really?
Yeah, I don't even know why they even mentioned
it. It's almost just to say, here's our chips, we're putting them on the table. See what I did there?
Yes.
It
was quite fishy.
Nice one. iPhone 15 displays will mostly be made by Samsung.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Apple has introduced a new 6 terabyte and 12 terabyte iCloud storage tier priced at $30 and $60 respectively a month. That seems quite heavy, but I'm not surprised they've done it.
That's a lot of storage. And we're almost to the, because I mean, I use Backblaze for my offsite storage.
Mm-hmm.
Apple is almost at the point where I wouldn't necessarily need to use Backblaze anymore. But the problem is it's the all your eggs in one basket rule that I don't like.
Yeah. Because if you drop that basket, all your eggs are going to crack.
Yep.
And then you've got scrambled eggs.
Yeah, scrambled data.
Apple is selling a $29 USB-C to Lightning adapter after iPhone charging port changed. Come on, Apple.
Big surprise.
Big surprise. macOS Sonoma will be released to all users on September 26. I didn't hear that anywhere, so I thought I'd put this in because that seemed a pretty firm date that has been announced.
No, that's like a week and a half from now, because today, as we record this, is the 16th.
Yeah, so we'll see. tvOS 17 and HomePod Software 17 to be officially released on September 18th. That's, when is that?
Monday.
That is Monday, yes. So we'll see whether that
they've already released. Haven't they already released iPhone OS 17?
If they have, it's not appeared on mine yet.
Okay.
I haven't seen it. The end of an era. Apple have officially, air quotes, officially discontinued the iPhone mini. Why people are calling it the iPhone mini? It was just a smaller version. That's a shame.
Yeah.
I tell you what, my daughters and my wife still would prefer to have a smaller phone. So,
Well, you
but they're
still
not
have
the.
the SE, which is a smaller phone.
It's not. Is it? Is it that much smaller?
Um,
Well, but are they? Because this report is saying that the
4.7 inches.
okay. This is not giving me a size on what they've actually.
Yeah, that's
4.7
the
inches,
iPhone
third
SE.
generation. Yeah, 6 inch. But the end of the iPhone 12 mini.
It still has Touch ID.
Yeah, it's a third generation iPhone SE, which is 4.7 inches. Yeah, that's still
Yeah.
available.
Is that new? When did they release the third gen? Okay, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
For All Mankind, returning to Apple TV Plus for the 4th season. I did get back into it, so I'll watch that when that comes out. I know
Still
that you
not
kind of.
past the second season.
You're not. No, I knew you enjoyed the first season, I think, quite a lot, and then you stopped, didn't
I
you?
did.
I'm also watching Invasion as well. I'm catching up on Invasion.
You've been watching Foundation?
I haven't. No, I started watching it and I fell asleep.
Yeah. If
Apple
you've read the books, you'll enjoy it. If you haven't read the books, you'll probably be like, what the hell are they going on about?
Yeah, I'm a bit on the second part, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Apple has disputed the claim that the iPhone 12 is suddenly breaking radiation standards, possibly more than that in a little while. Apple has announced more iOS 17 features coming later this year. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay, fine. Apple, just get a move on. That's all I can say. Lawyer has objected to claims about how much Google pays Apple to be the default search engine. A lawyer representing Apple has objected to claims made in court about how much Google pays the Cupertino company to be the default search engine on iPhones and other devices. The objection was made in a major antitrust case against the search giant. So obviously what they don't like is the fact that this is an antitrust case against Google, but Apple is being put into the rounds because they're saying just how much Google are spending to be the key search engine. Yeah. I'll tell you what, those Apple lawyers, they just make themselves busy little bees, don't they?
They do. If it's not them suing someone, it's someone else suing them.
Or even if it's not them being sued at all.
Yeah, even if they're not
anybody,
they're
they want to
just like peripherally involved.
They want to get in on the act, don't they? Let's get in the act.
Yeah.
Who mentioned Apple?
It's like, they're paying us all this money every single year, whether we're doing lawyer stuff or not. So we may as well just jump in the middle of this.
We may as well continue to practice. Buy a large product at an Apple store. Apparently, you can now choose to have it delivered. Now, I wonder what that large product would be, Guy. Can you think of any large? I think there's two: be an iMac and a Mac Pro. Pretty much it, really, isn't it? Oh no, they have some screens. They have some large screens as well.
Maybe even the studio.
Well, if you buy a large product, you can have it delivered. Apparently, Chrome for Mac will soon let you access iCloud keychain passkeys. Apparently,
yeah, that does not fill me with a lot of joy.
I did wonder whether you'd say that you were a bit concerned about that or not. I put this in, I'll mention it anyway. Apple has surveyed developers with the Vision Pro about the digital persona. While the Apple Vision Pro headset is not launching until next year, some developers have access to the device in order to develop Vision OS apps. Though through Feedback Assistant, Apple is collecting opinions on the Vision Pro persona. That's the persona that's created for each person that use with FaceTime. So we'll see whether these surveys come back and they get it right. Not only Apple, but the developers. Apple's emergency SOS via satellite feature on iPhone 14/15 will soon reach 16 countries. Apparently, there is a new team lead in the Apple blood glucose team.
Is it Sal Sonoma? What the hell was his name? Segoen.
Sal Segoen.
Holy crap. There's a callback.
Apple has done some internal shuffling and appointed Tim Millett I'm glad it's not Timmy Mallet. And that's really only funny to people in Britain because
so many Tims, so many Tims.
yeah, he's vice president of the platform architecture to lead the team that is working on blood glucose monitoring functionality for the Apple Watch. Though the point I'd like to make out here, Tim Millett is the vice president of platform architecture. They were saying, why didn't they get somebody who's more around, the
The
health
watch
side?
people. Yeah.
Well, the watch person, he's not architecture. That's fine. But why don't you get somebody who's more health orientated? Well, that's because you need the architecture to be able to do something in the first place. So
Especially something new like that.
I'm sure they have blood glucose experts in there, folks. Apparently, the iPhone 15 is already compatible with USB-C Backbone 1 controllers made for Android. Cool. That's like a little controller which you stick your phone in. So you put your phone in the middle and put the hand controllers on each end. Apparently, replacing the battery in your Apple Watch just got more expensive. This week, they have announced the new Apple Watch Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra. They'll be available in stores next week, as we know. The same prices as their previous generations. However, one thing is different now, as Apple has increased the price of out-of-warranty battery services for the Apple Watch.
Did they increase the price on the phones? Do you know?
No. I think one configuration did go up slightly, but it went up because the memory of that phone also went up. So if you compared that phone to the previous year's phone with the same memory, it hadn't actually gone up. But the base cost obviously was then increased. So it's a little bit like charging the same price but giving you less or more. In this case, they've increased the price, but you're getting a little bit more for it. Now, it's nothing like chocolate and confectionery. What do they call it? They call it, there's a name that they're using it for when they're making these packets of chocolate smaller, but charging the same price. Can't remember what it is. It'll come to me. Apparently, Blackmagic has announced that the new iOS camera app that ties into DaVinci Resolve. So, brilliant.
Nice. DaVinci Resolve is a fantastic video editor.
Blackmagic, pretty good company, actually, I'd say.
Yeah.
Apple has stopped, and it's free. Yes, Apple has.
There's a free version of it, I should say.
The movie one, yes, DaVinci. Yes, yeah. yes. I'm not sure what the iOS camera app is and whether that's free at this stage.
No, they're mostly a hardware company, so.
Yeah. A little bit like Apple.
Not a big difference.
Apple has stopped signing iOS 16.6, so downgrading from 16.6.1 is now no longer available to you folks. Apparently, we might talk about this later, so I'll leave that there. I was going to talk about the iPhone 15 Pro and the Thread radio process, but we'll perhaps come on to that later. Apparently, Guy, Apple told employees to keep quiet about the iPhone 12 radiation levels. Who'd have thunk stories like that would suddenly appear after France said, your phone is too radiation leaking. You need to fix it. That wasn't a good French accent, was it? Apple are to issue.
We don't have one, but people recognize that it is a French accent, so that's good enough.
Apple to issue for iPhone 12 software update in France to address the radiation concerns. iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max, the shipping estimates have already extended into November. So unless you got in quick, tough. iPhone 15
go to an Apple store.
Yeah. There are many other stores that sell them, but yes, probably a good idea. iPhone 15 models have completely standard USB-C port without restrictions on accessories. The reason I brought that up is because I think there were some rumors that you'd have to buy a specific cable, but apparently that's not the case. So
it's bollocks.
I didn't want to say that.
No, you can
And
say it. You're fine.
Denmark guy apparently are unconcerned about the iPhone 12 radiation. It's
Eh,
uh-uh.
we have other fish to fry.
Right. So here's a question to Tim Cook. Do you have a favorite new iPhone color? Mr. Tim Cook. You know, I'm using the natural. I love it. But I tell you, it was a hard decision. Of course, it was a hard decision because the
Yeah.
blue really caught my eye. The white really caught my eye and the black really caught my eye. So it was hard, but I eventually landed on that. For heaven's
Well, I
sake,
mean,
for heaven's sake, you've
look
got
at it.
Tim. You're asking him a
Tim Cook.
question,
Yeah.
and you're asking him what his favorite iPhone color is. Really, really?
People want to know.
No,
And
they do.
remember, everyone is watching their money these days. So it's not like you can have multiple phones with different colors and be able to afford it, Mr. Cook.
Apple's latest transparency report adds US government geofence requests. So Apple on Friday shared a new transparency report. The government and private party requests document providing information on customer data requests that the company has received from the US government in the first half of 2022. For the first time ever, Apple has reported that the total number of geofence requests that is received from the US government. There you go. I'm not saying whether they told them everything or not. I'm just saying those are the requests that they got. Okay. Apparently, Goldman Sachs has overhauled the Apple savings procedure to cut down on withdrawal delays. So apparently there were
Thank
lots of
God.
complaints early doors about not being able to get money out of your Apple savings account, which is run by...
I've actually been holding off on putting any more into mine just for that reason alone. But I may transfer some from one savings account to another since the interest rate is so much better with Goldman Sachs.
Okay, well, they're cutting down on delays for withdrawing that money. The iPhone 15 USB-C port can output significantly more power to accessories than the Lightning port. Again, that might be something which comes out in more detail as we move forward. And that guy, this week, pretty tame, I'd say, is the end of Gaz's snippets.
No links?
Linkless.
Okay, well then let's move on to the event. We're not going to go in any like the order that stuff was talked about. We're just going to start right off with the phone. And of course, there was 3 new phones announced in essence. You had the iPhone 15, the iPhone 15 Pro, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. The big difference between...
Wasn't there an iPhone 15 Max?
Or Plus, iPhone 15 Plus.
Sorry, Plus, yes.
Yeah. And the big difference between the 15 and the 15 Plus, one is a 6.1 inch, the other one is a 6.7 inch. And they made a big deal over the fact that it's color infused with both the glass and the aluminum design with a ceramic shield front. And it's like, so you got colored plastic or colored metal? Okay, great. But once and I guess that would make it more scratch resistant, because if you scratch it and it's the same color underneath, who's going to really be able to tell? The dynamic island bubbles up alerts and live activities, it still doesn't go away completely, so you don't miss them when you're doing something else. 48 megapixel main camera with the is it for the 15 also? Yeah, 15 and 15 Plus have a 48 megapixel main camera with 2x telephoto, which is really not that big of a deal. Captures breathtaking detail up close or far away. You can tell I'm reading this directly from the website. It's using the A16 processor, and of course, it connects and charges with USB-C. With the 15 Plus, it's all the same except slightly bigger. With the 15 Pro, the regular 15 Pro was also a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR display featuring ProMotion. What is ProMotion, Gaz? Do you know? Did they talk about that, or is that just something that's been there for a while?
No, I think it's something that's been there for a little while. They use it for the video side, don't they?
Okay. Always on and dynamic island. Again, 48 megapixel main photo with a 3x telephoto lens, so that's a little bit better. A17 Pro chip delivers a massive leap in graphics performance, Gaz, teleforming mobile gaming. Now, they did have, it was an interesting little section where they had a couple of developers on talking about some of the games that's going to be available, not just for the iPhone for the first time, but on a mobile platform like a phone for the first time. A17 Pro chip, Gaz. Wow. Sorry, I tried to keep the sarcasm out of that. USB-C connector with USB-C 3 for up to 20x faster transfer speeds and new Pro workflows. They don't really say, or do they? Number 2, there's something there about what they have, like a little asterisk there, faster transfer speed. So I don't know what they were, if they were comparing it to, a mule going across the Mojave Desert, or if it was for lightning connectors or something along those lines. For the 15 Pro Max, 6.7-inch super Retina XDR display.
While we're talking about that,
titanium.
while we're talking about the display, apparently ProMotion is technology offers up to 120 megahertz refresh rate instead of the 60 megahertz, meaning that it can work twice the speed, refreshing the screen 120 times per second to give users a smoother scrolling, improved responsiveness, and better gaming performance.
Excellent.
Apparently, it's also ProMotion is also adaptive, meaning that the screen will adapt its refresh rate to suit how you're using your phone. That's just a very quick highlight of what
I appreciate
ProMotion is. You're welcome, sir.
15 Pro Max camera is pretty much the same, except it has a 5x telephoto camera, the longest optical zoom in an iPhone, not in any phone, but in an iPhone ever, Gaz. Ever. And of course, they still are selling the 14 and the 14 Plus, which is also a 6.7-inch screen. And as usual, the stuff that you get in the regular phone, like the iPhone 15, is what basically the iPhone 14 Pro had in its previous generation. But the fact that you can still get the 14 for about $800 plus, whichever, depending on what model you get, along with all those amazing colors. Speaking of colors, I'm sorry, these were like super boring colors this year. Like a couple years ago, they had that really crazy kind of glossy military green that everybody was so enamored with, and then either the year before or the year after, they had the really kind of cool blue, which I got with the 13 because I really liked it. But this year, I'm sorry,
they're pretty insipid. I mean, I remember when the green one come out, but I was on the For Mac Eyes Only reaction time show, and Chuck Joyner was on there, and he made a fairly reasonable point. He said, so how many people actually have a phone and don't have a case on it? So the colors to a degree are a bit mute, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I told you when I got my 13, and I'm not planning on updating, I got the blue. And Dave Ginsburg from In Touch with iOS had a couple of extra cases the last time. This was like the last time I was in Chicago for MacStock. And he was like, here, because he couldn't use them because he'd already updated to another phone. And so one of the things he gave me was a clear case. So there it is.
If you have a clear case, then obviously you perhaps want a color. But if you want a bright color and there's not enough, because they'll never have the right color for everybody. So, but case manufacturers are likely to have the right color for somebody.
Yep,
that makes any sense at all.
No, it does.
I mean, I put a case on mine straight away because I want the quad lock case on it because I'm always fixing it to my bike, and I've got this. In fact, I'm messing about with at the moment. I've got like a little ring loop, which I always put on there as well, because it means I can just slip my finger through that loop, and it'll, it means I can balance the phone in my hand much more securely, because I've got this locked into the quad bit at the back when I'm carrying it as well. But the case, obviously, it goes on the phone, on my bike. Perfect. I've also got a clip which I can put it on as well. So to me, the color is kind of irrelevant. In fact, I'm just going to think I think I got the lime green one, because I thought it doesn't really matter.
No, it really doesn't. If you've got if you got a particular color that you like, then whatever color you get the phone doesn't matter, because you can just get it somewhere else. Now,
but I do agree with you that the colors do seem a bit yeah.
Now, previous phones had a silence switch where you could just go ahead and say, okay, I don't want the phone to make any noise. You'd flick that little switch and it would go into silent mode. Well, that's now sort of gone. You can still, the functionality is still there, but it's all been transferred into what Apple is calling the action button. And this basically brings up, when you hit this button, it brings up something on your screen, and you can then choose whether you want to go into silent mode, choose your focus, camera, flashlight, voice memo, translate, magnifier, shortcut, or accessibility. And some of those are brand new, but a lot of those you used to be able to just do, like camera and flashlight, you could just do on the splash screen or the lock screen. So, they've transferred a lot of this functionality. So now and I guess part of this has to do with the fact that a lot of these phones are now always on. So there wasn't as much point in having the lock screen as there was before. So now you hit this button, and I believe there's a default one that you can set for it. But the rest of it, I guess if there's something that you do, and it'll just bring up all these different things. So is that an improvement, or is it just kind of what's a good word, Gaz?
Enhancement,
a retelling of what they had before.
Okay. Refinement. Yeah, I quite like actually just having the click there, so I can click it down. I quickly look at my phone and I see that it's on mute, or on silent. Having the button, which you can then allocate to do something else. If you can allocate it to do something else in different stages of focus. So if you're on the front page, with all your apps on there, and you press the button to go into silent, great. But if you're in an app and you're talking to somebody and then you want to go to make it silent, as long as there is still a really quick way to be able to do that, because that focus button might be doing something in that app. So if you press it, then it does whatever that focus mode is. As long as there is another way to be able to easily put the phone into silent, then okay. But there's a lot of muscle memory there that people have got to get over.
Well, that's not really unusual in that, it's not just Apple, but it's a lot of manufacturers that move some of the buttons around. And it was, in this particular case, it was like you had a switch that did one thing and did it very, very well. And now you've replaced it with something that does a lot of things that just take more time to think about.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else about the phone? Because I'm not getting one. I'm still on my 13, and I'm very happy with it. And until there's
I think that we were having a little bit of a discussion before the show started, and what I was talking to you about was the fact that it is very difficult once you get to a certain point to then have fast increments of improvement, and I remember at work very often it was about 80-85%. When you get to 80-85%, let's get it out the door. We can always make those changes to, whether it was a marketing campaign, whether it was a software development piece or something, very often 85% was good enough, and then get it out, and then you can adjust it and make the refinements. That's not quite the case with Apple, because I think they've got a product which is now at probably around 95%. So any incremental change that they make now to the phone, it's already a superb product. In fact, say the same with a lot of their products, to be honest with you, the established products like the watch and
including
the
the watch.
iPads.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch and the iPads and the phone. So now, I don't think it got a lot of people who are excited who are outside the tech world, because techies and people who really like this stuff understand the 3 nanometer stuff. They understand the titanium and all of that. They think that's all great and they like these little details. But really, it's you've got, they're creating a device which, to be perfectly honest with you, I think I'm going to be holding on to this for a damn sight longer. It's probably going to be the longest phone that I hold on to before I change it again.
Oh, when your 15 comes in.
Mm. Mm.
And the crazy part is, I am one of those people that you show me something exciting that's on a new product, even if I just bought one, I'll go ahead and get the new one if there's something that's really exciting about it. And the fact that I held on to my previous iPod Pro for 5 years, or that I'm now 2 generations back on my phone and 2 generations back on my watch, says that, or at least it says to me, that there just wasn't anything there that got me like, oh god, I gotta get that new watch, I gotta get that
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
iPhone.
Well,
And
that's why that's kind of why I was waiting to see the watch, because I thought, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm probably just going to, get the previous version, because I can save quite a bit of money and also
yeah,
upgrade to the type of product that I want as well. Unless there's something really jumps out at me on the watch, and there wasn't.
no, there really
And the
wasn't.
phone, same with the phone. Actually, if anything, I've downgraded on the phone.
Well, you were on what, a 12?
No, I was on a 13, but it's a
You
13
were on a
Pro,
13.
and I've jumped down to a
13 Pro.
15.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's still a better camera, it's still a better processor
It got more
than what you're
megapixels.
getting.
It's it doesn't match. I've got the 3 times zoom, which you don't get on the standard product. So I
Yeah.
am losing out on something, but I'm prepared to try and test that, because I have got the capability of having more megapixels. So I'm going
And
to be
it's all those
trying
Wilf
some.
pictures.
Yeah. So I'm going to be trying that out and see how I get on.
Moving on to the watch, you got the Apple Watch Series 9, the Apple Watch Ultra 2, and of course the Apple Watch SE, which I don't think has changed. Apple Watch
No.
Series 9 is still a 41 millimeter or 45 millimeter
Yep.
case.
There was there
Always
was quite
on.
a lot of talk about them changing the strap buckling system, weren't there? They're possibly going to magnetic,
Did they?
but that
Did they
didn't
actually
change.
change it?
No, 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 no. I was saying there was lots of discussion about it, but they didn't actually make any changes. So that's good as far as I'm concerned.
It is. So, if you have a significant amount of, and a lot of people do, significant number of watch straps, all the stuff that you have for the 7 and the 8 should work on the 9, regardless of who you got it from.
Yeah.
The always on Retina display. I'm looking to see what else is they got a new chip for it, the S9
Isn't it?
64-bit
Isn't
dual
both
core.
the Pro phones and the watch, don't they have an improved toughened glass? Did I pick that up as well? Because I haven't actually
I'm
watched it. I haven't actually watched it, because we were watching it on the reaction time, so I was having to follow it fairly closely to comment on it as we went through. But you don't
okay.
pick up on all the nuances. But I thought I picked up on improved glass strength, but I may be just making that up.
Well, it says Eon X glass display on aluminum cases, sapphire crystal display on the stainless steel cases, and it's saying that pretty much across the. Well, no, the I'm going to take that back. The Ultra has a flat sapphire crystal display. I don't know how that's different from the regular crystal display, but they're saying that the Ultra has a sapphire crystal display. But even the Watch SE has the let me find it, the ton or the Ion X glass display. And after my debacle with my watch Series 4, I now put a cover on the glass anyway. So
Can I hold you there and hold that thought?
sure.
I've got that visitor.
Oh, you got to go hit your bike?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see. We're at like right at the 1 hour mark. So go ahead.
Okay.
I gotta pee.
liked it. Yeah, he said, that's a really nice first bottle. Right, we just got to finish up the top. Eh? Yeah. Right, that's good. You can read sound or not?
You okay?
Right, can you hear me? Sorry about that.
No problem. Yeah, I hear you just
I
fine. I'm
can't
going to
hear you.
stop the
Oh,
audio
flipping.
recording.
I don't know what's going on here.
What's wrong?
Audio.
You can't hear me?
Oh, here we go.
Speak to me, Guy.
Yes. Hello. Check.
Right,
1,
back.
2.
You're back. Yeah, you're back.
Okay. I'm going to do a stop and save here.
Yep.
And then take it back. I actually got up to pee while you were gone.
Okay, cool.
And it's important I tell you that for some reason.
It is. Very important.
On Watch Series 4, I now put a cover on the glass anyway. So
Can I hold you there and hold
buckle with my Watch Series 4, I now put a cover on the glass anyway. So
All
right, let me do a. I can get rid of all this. Go back a little bit just before you ask me to stop. I Watch Series 4, I now put a cover on the glass anyway. So, okay, right there. What was the context of that? Talking about scratches? Crystal display, but they're saying that the Ultra has
No, I think
anyway. So
I've
okay.
been talking about
no, we were
glass,
talking
but-
about the glass on the
Yeah,
watches.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
And I think most people will probably, if they're smart, they'll get covers for their watches anyway, because it is really, really easy to scratch them, and it's very
Yeah, it is.
expensive to replace
agree.
that glass.
I agree with you, but I've never put a cover on mine. But this 8, it really does go around the edge of the screen. You know, it really does go right to the edge. So I might have to get one for this, because I agree with
And
you.
they're cheap, honestly.
But I've got the
Go on
stainless steel
Amazon,
one, which has
they're
got
cheap.
the better Xeon crystal Gorilla Glass or whatever it is. But you're right. I think you're right. It might be worth just getting a cheap cover.
Yeah. And the Ultra 2 is a 49-inch. That's the same size as it was before. And I believe, yeah, they've got a GPS and cellular model, or does it do both automatically?
What for the Ultra?
The Ultra.
I think that's both. I think that's both. You don't just get one.
Okay, so it's a little bit bigger, and it automatically has a cellular connection, which you can choose to use or not use. Were there like different colors for it, or was it just the for the watches? I think there was like stainless steel.
Are you talking about the Apple Watch 9, or are you talking about the Ultra?
I'm talking about the 9.
The 9, I think, will have some slightly different colors according to which model you get in terms of the case. So the case for the Ultra, you can't get different colors, I don't think. I think it's just titanium. But for the Series 9, you can actually get some different colored cases, I'm pretty sure.
Let's see.
Because you
Choose
get
a case, pick a band.
I think you get the aluminium and the stainless steel, and I think there is a choice of colors with. I'm not sure whether the stainless steel comes with a choice of different colors. Yes, it does. The aluminium does, and the stainless steel does. So you've got 3 colors on the stainless steel, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with product red on the aluminium.
Okay, so there are some different colors if that's your thing. I typically just like to choose one that's kind of neutral, and then let the watch band, whatever watch band that it
Yeah.
is that I'm going to use,
Do the
to
talking.
define exactly, because you're going to notice that more than you'll notice the color on the watch anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
One kind of cool thing that they did add to the OS was, what did they call it? The pinch thing, double tap.
Double tap.
And that's where, and it's a separate kind of gesture. You know, you're not actually doing it on the phone. You're just kind of doing it in front of the phone. And it brings up, I'm trying to find, I had it and now I've lost it, where what you can do with the double tap.
Yeah, because I think it's been there historically, but it's been hidden away in the accessibility, and it's not been quite as refined um, as they've now created it. Because I think it's now more available to different apps and other sorts of processes. So it's a much more versatile action that you can do. And it's more in front of house, whereas before it was a little bit back of house and hidden away. And I think you can use it on various different applications. But is that available straight away, or is that coming later on?
I think that's going to come with the new phone. I think the real question
What do you
is
mean?
that also going to be
Watch.
available on other phones? So
Watch.
if you don't have the
Watch.
9, sorry,
Can you
on
not
the
hear
watch,
me?
right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So will that be available through the OS on other I almost said other phones again,
Watches.
on other watches, or is that only going to be available on the new phones? And I'm hoping that Apple is going to do the right thing and make it available for like all the phones that are not so much physically, but computerly. What would be a good word? Trouble finding words today, guys.
Worms are
If the phone
hard.
is, if words are hard, if the phone is capable of doing it,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
then it should be allowed to do it. And I keep saying phone. I'm talking
I
about the
think they will.
watch.
I think they will. If the watch has got the capability to do it that you've got, then they will allow you to do it, certainly. But well, we'll have to wait and see.
It's just annoying sometimes when they say, and you know that there's really no particularly bad reason for why you can't do it, but they've just decided that it's only going to be available on, a new phone or a new watch. So if the watch is capable of doing it, Apple, just let it do it instead of
Yeah.
making it
Yeah.
something that you want to that you want to just make it available to the newest thing. And I'm trying to get, oh, here we go. Double tap. Finally found it. Easier to use anytime, especially when your hands are full. Just double tap your index finger and thumb together to answer a call. And it has to be on the hand that has the watch on it. So you don't have to do it in front of it. You
Yes.
can
Yes.
answer a call.
I think it's sensing the action, of course,
Yeah.
in your hand. Well, it has
Well,
to be, of course.
some of the things that they talk about here is play and pause music, answer a call, stop a timer, reply to a message, check your smart stack, and I'm sure there'll be other things that it does, or other things that'll be put on later. But that's really kind of the biggest. Would you say that's like the biggest new feature that they added? Because I don't think there's even really anything in the health part that wasn't there before.
No. I don't think that's why I went for the 8, because there wasn't anything jumping out at me that meant I'd want to go and buy the 9 over the previous version.
Yeah, and I'm on a 7, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's kind of it as far as new stuff that they talked about. And if there's something that we missed or something that you thought we
Well,
should have
I
addressed,
think you
let us
might
know.
have missed the fact that the new AirPods Pro 2 case can be USB-C.
Oh, well, they've kind of gone. Anything that used to be Lightning is now USB-C, as far as new products go.
New products,
And
yes.
I heard somebody say that they had seen something somewhere. We're going off into the land of fantasy right now. That you should be able to order a USB-C case for the AirPod Pros 2.
Yes. No.
So
That's not I don't think you can buy the case separately. I think it's just the new case.
It had something to do with you could go into like let's say you lost your case or something like that. You could go in and say, I need a replacement case.
Okay. So they might have a
the
glut
one
of
that you'll
people coming in. They're going to get a glut of people going in saying, I lost my case.
Yeah, I need a new case that has USB-C. And I think it's like $90 is what I recall them saying it's going to cost. So if you must have, you're not going to get it for free.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh,
no.
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 No. What do you think about that, Steve?
I'm not on that page at all. I'm not even close to that page because I was looking at something else. But Steve would say,
no.
Exactly. Steve knows. Steve knows what's going on. So that's again, if there's something that we missed or something that you think we should have talked about, let us know. You can contact us in all the various ways that you'll hear later. And we actually have some audio feedback that we'll go into later. But before we get to that, Gaz, there must be something else that we could talk about.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there may well be.
I wonder what it could be.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip.
I've mentioned this first bit before, but it kind of leads into the second bit. And that is, can you not find something in settings which you really need to find? And because the new settings app is so confusing for everybody, and actually, to be perfectly honest with you, you may not use the settings app a lot and it'll be confusing anyway. There is a search bar, folks. There is a search bar at the top of the settings app. Probably a good idea to go into the system settings and use that search bar, because then it is concentrating on returning settings items rather than just going for a full search across your computer. But it makes it easy. For example, by default, if you move two fingers up and down down your trackpad on an Apple laptop, or on the trackpad that you set up probably on a new Mini, your view generally travels down the open document or website. So I typed in trackpad in the settings, in the search bar in settings, and then went to the trackpad and scroll and zoom tab in that particular section. And you can then flip the direction. So you can move your fingers down, makes the view go up, or standard is that you move your fingers down and the view on the screen goes down, if you understand what I'm saying. You can change it just there if you have come from somewhere else where you're used to it going in the opposite direction to what the standard is with Apple. Nice and easy, although I probably made that sound really complicated, but it's not.
But it's not. And it works with the phone too, by the way.
Yes, indeedy. Nodding my head.
So much nodding.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
There we go. If you have some spare coins or shekels that you can't figure out what to do with, go on over to the Ukrainian Red Cross or Doctors Without Borders. There will be links in the show notes, and you can send them some money for all the things that they do. I do not have a 4 pick sake this week, Gaz. Do you?
Well, it kind of is a carry on from what you've just mentioned, because we had obviously we had another issue. With the Libyan dam burst, and there are thousands of people that are struggling over there. So I'm going to put a link in, which is a British Red Cross link to how you can donate if you want to the Libyan floods appeal. But if you go to your local Red Cross, I'm sure, and type in Libya appeal, you will find in your own country where you can donate, if you so wish, to donate to one of those appeals. Pretty nasty stuff going on there.
And it's
So
pretty obvious I do not know how to spell Libyan, but I fixed it.
you fix it. Well done. So I'm just going to move that to the link there. There you go.
Okay, good. So that way we can make sure we get it in the show notes.
Yep.
If you would like to leave us some feedback, you can do so in various ways, including telephone numbers, which we have, and we have some audio feedback this week, Gaz.
No.
It's true. It is
Don't
true.
believe it. Don't believe
well,
it. Liar, pants on fire.
I have the audio proof right here. So there.
Mm.
Hi, this is Lisa. You say Pacelli, and I say Pacelli.
Hi, Lisa.
Of the Geeky Shower podcast. And I just have an audio comment for you. The audio books that you were speaking about in the last episode, I use one called, I think it's pronounced It's $85 a year. You can either listen to audiobooks or you can read ebooks via their app. And I don't do that. I have to use my Kindle for reading books, but I use this constantly for listening to audiobooks. The selection isn't as vast as what you get on Audible. It's still good. And it's kind of like Apple Music in the respect that you don't read, but you can read as much as you want as long as you keep renewing your membership. So if you're a voracious reader and you listen to a book a week, have at it. As opposed to Audible, where you have to buy credits in order to listen to a book. Now, with Audible, you get to keep your book. With Scribe, you don't. But honestly, how many times do you re-listen to a book? I mean, I never do. I listen to a book and then I move on. You can also to your audiobooks via Libby, which I have done once or twice, but the problem with that is they don't give you as much time to listen to a book through Libby as they give you to read the book. So I just wanted to share that with you and talk again soon. Bye.
Thanks, Elisa. And remember, she can be found doing the geekiest show ever with Melissa. So give them a listen over there. And she's absolutely right about Libby. The other thing about Libby is most library systems only have, and this is weird, a particular number of digital downloads that they're authorized to let people have. So if it's a popular book, you may not be able to get it for a while because there'll be other people that are like in front of the queue for you. I don't believe I did talk about Scribe, and I know that the audio message was a little garbled in the beginning, but she was talking about an audiobook app called Scribe, which I don't think I talked about last week. So you can find those over at the app stores and check it out there. It's a subscription service. I think she said it was $5 a month, which is certainly cheap. If that's true, that's certainly a lot cheaper than many of the other ones. I don't know if I've ever sent Elisa a Woo tea. Elisa, if you're listening to this and I haven't, let me know and I will create a Woody for you and send it to you. And if you, not necessarily Gaz, because he has one, but other people who have never gotten a Woody, if you would like one and they are extra special, your entire life will change.
It will.
Based on receiving.
My life has changed since I've had a Wooty from Guy.
Yeah, for the better.
I can't say really
one way or the other. And of course, if you don't know what a Woody is, that is a big W, big O, big T, little I, little E, exclamation mark, and that is a Woody. And the ways that you can get it, you can send email feedback, you can talk to us through the various social networks, audio feedback, do a review, all kinds of good stuff like that. The other thing is, if you'd like to help support the show, you can go to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/MacPettit. You can also go to coffee, ko-fi.com/MacPettit and buy us a coffee, or go on over to the Pals of Pay, which makes no sense, but it is paypal.me/MacPettit. Now, Gaz.
Yes.
I know it's getting later over there for you. The sun is still up, though. Sun is still up.
Sun is still up.
If people
Sun
wanted to
is up.
contact you
The sky
and
is
say
blue.
something about why you didn't get the iPhone that costs more or a new watch, how would they do so?
Ever so easy. Send an email to gazgaz
Darn.
at mymac.com or on the Twitters and X and Mastodon and Counter Social and what's the one from Meta? I can't even think what it's called. I can't even think what it's
I don't
called.
know.
That
never-
one. I'm
that
Gazmaz, which is Gazmaz.
Gosh.
If you're on Mastodon, if you're on Mastodon, though, you have to go to gazmaz at c.im. You can also contact us on the Twitter /X. That's both of us, and it's Guy and Gaz, GYANDGAZ.
Cars.
You can also send an email to feedback, FWDBACK,
At MyMac.com.
mymac.com. I say that FWDBACK really quickly,
You
don't
said
I?
it so fast before I had a chance to get started.
Brilliant. Now,
No fooling.
Oh,
is that going to mess with you?
I don't know.
His name was Guy.
Yeah,
But I've
it's
al-
messing with me.
It's messed with you. I thought it would. That's
Yeah.
good. I like it.
At my signal. Unleash hell.
Guy.
Guy?
Guy's the one.
He's the guy. Pay no attention to that guy behind the curtain.
Do we know it was a guy?
Guy says,
You remember Guy?
Yeah,
no
it's
fooling.
right there.
If you want,
An email from Guy.
how the devil would they do it?
Well, you'd think it would be really hard, but it's not. Just open the email client of your choice and type in Guy at mymac.com. You can also find me on the X Twitters as both Mac Pettit and VertShark. There is the VertShark website that you can go to and see some of the vids. There's all kinds of links to the vids over there. YouTube, of course, if you go and you can subscribe to the Guy's Daily Drive feed, I believe it is. It's been so long since I've looked. Or no, it's the VertShark feed over on YouTube. Just look up VertShark and you will see all of the vids that I put up over there on YouTube. I am also on Counter Social and Mastodon .social as Mac Pettit. And Gaz, we have a Skype voice number. Still, I keep threatening to take it away, but it's still there.
Well, I think you need to pull the plug, man.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the neck and really not as necessary as it used to be. And that number is 1 or +1 outside the United States. 703-436-9501. That number again is 1 or +1 outside the United States. 703-436-9501. If you have some kind of condition that prevents you from dialing a 1 or a +1 before a regular telephone number, since our Skype number has both a 0 and a 1 in it, you can just skip that altogether, go right to the Skype app and dial 703-436-9501. But that is not the only number that you can call, is it, Gaz?
No, it is not. You can also call
Tell me.
703-828-4677. If you didn't catch that, it's 703-828-4677.
It is an amazing number for reasons that we won't even go into because it's not really all that amazing. Anyway, yeah. But, Gaz, I would also like to say to everyone, thank you. Thank you for downloading and listening to the MyMac.com podcast. It is greatly appreciated. And Gaz, I think that we're good enough. And I think this week we were smart enough to not buy into all the Apple hype, and that doggone it, Wolf, who will be getting pictures from a new phone, and that we'll have to find him. And because it only has the 2x or 3x optical zoom, he'll be even harder to find. That's right. He's going to be behind multiple buildings, and you'll still have to find him. Doggone it, people like us, Gaz.
Guy,
Yeah.
Why are elevator, or as we say in the UK, lift jokes so classic and good?
I don't know.
Because they work on so many levels.
Ooh.
End.
Wow.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home.